Hi, I'm Phoebe. Nice to meet you. Bit of backstory about me. I've been in the industry for just under 3 years now. I actually didn't come from a traditional games background. I studied film and media at university and kind of realized partway through my degree that I was taking any opportunity I could to make my assignments about video games. And I had that realization of, maybe this transcends a hobby for me and I could see this as being something I do for a living. I'd love to help make games happen. But I didn't really know what kind of role I would be suited to or what roles were out there. So I decided that after I finished my degree, I would try and find a job within the games industry. So after a year of unsuccessful job hunting, because it's never that easy, is it? I found a job as a QA, and I was just so ecstatic to be there. I was so happy to be included in the industry and to have finally made it. And then about just over a year ago, I was asked if I would like to do some design work for a game I was testing. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'd love to try. And I did a dry run, and that went well. And then I got offered a position. And I'm just so grateful and so happy and just beyond incomprehensible that people would have that faith and that belief in me. And yeah, I love it. I'd said I'm worried. I'm really worried that I am not learning fast enough, that there's too many gaps in my knowledge, I am not doing good enough, and that I will eventually, inevitably, let down those people that put their faith in me. And I thought that maybe this imposter syndrome would get better over time and I would not be so worried. But actually what happened was I just had ammunition to feed it. And it would be like, do you remember that thing you did 6 months ago? Useless. The worst thing. And it's like the backseat driver from hell. So, yeah, I was having a conversation with some colleagues. And yeah, I just overthink. I've always been an overthinker, and I'm hoping this is relatable. And I'm really sorry if it is, because wouldn't it be nice, just for once, to roll over and go to sleep at night and not have to overthink every possibly inconceivably wrong thing you did in a day? Right? So I was having a conversation with some colleagues about my overthinking and my worry, and one of them turns to me and says, "Have you tried exercise?" 1, rude. Clearly, I'm the peak of physical fitness. I'm the one on the left. And 2, I hate exercise. I'm not good at it. I'm not good at it. I'm a hazard to myself and others. I have the A&E history to prove it. But they were pretty insistent that it helps their brain and like it's good for them and to stop this unhelpful thinking. And I was like, okay. So I rejoined the gym. And I don't know about you guys, but I have a very tumultuous history with the gym where I've stopped and started many times over the years, starting from when I was about 12 and could choose it as an elective during Friday's PE session. And I would always choose it because, fun fact about the gym, you can't be chosen last for a team of 1. In theory. So I'm back at the gym after having this conversation with my colleague, and I am reminded exactly why I cancelled all those times. It's loud, it's crowded, it's got weird lighting, and people are hissing. Why are people hissing? What about heavy objects turns you into a snake? I really need to know. And I'm not only overthinking, but I'm now not only just overthinking about how I'm not good enough, but how my body is not good enough, and how the person on the treadmill next to me keeps staring over at me, worried I'm going to keel over with the amount I'm wheezing. So I'm thinking I'm never going to go back. This is awful. That is until I get to this machine. This is the Concept 2 rowing ergometer, or ROERG. I hardly know erg. It weighs in at just under 60 pounds. It has 10 different resistance settings. And if you take it out onto the water, it glides gracefully. To the bottom, doesn't float, don't try it. So it's at this point I'm going to ask for some audience participation. So if the guys could just bring in the rowing machine, that'd be great. I'll ask someone. I don't have a rowing machine, but I wouldn't mind a show of hands if you've ever used one of these machines or anything like it. Cool, great. Now keep your hand up if you've ever played the fish game on one of these machines. Okay, cool, okay, so for those who don't know, this is the fish game. You play as this fish. Your goal is to eat the small fish and the striped fish to get points and to avoid being eaten by the big fish with teeth, or you'll lose points. You row to go up, you stop rowing to go down, and you have 4 minutes to get the best score you can. And I am at this workout from hell, and I'm playing this fish game, and I'm no longer thinking I'm not good enough. I'm thinking about how in all the times I have stopped and started going to the gym, I've always managed to pick up the fish game. And I've gone to a lot of different gyms, like across the country, like even in England as well. And this has always been there, but I never see anyone else play it, and I've never heard anyone talk about it. So I started to wonder, like, if anyone knew any more about it. So I did what anyone would do. I took to the internet. And I actually couldn't find all that much about it online. Through scouring through some old manuals for these machines, I discovered that the fish game was introduced in the PM3 model, which was released in 2003, which actually makes the fish game 20 years old this year. Amazing, happy 20th anniversary, fish game, woo, yeah. What fortuitous timing on my part. It's almost like I planned it. I really did not. But yeah, I couldn't find much more about it, and I was still really curious, so I took the next step, and I contacted customer services. Yes, I really did this. Because I wanted to know who developed it. Was it in-house? Was it external? Like, could they tell me anything else about it? And I didn't expect a reply, but I did get one by the lovely Nathan. And Nathan told me that the fish game was developed in-house by one of their engineers called John Williams, who has retired a couple years back. This is the photo they posted on his retirement. Isn't he dapper? What guy? But yeah, as for more details, the links that Nathan sent were just things I'd already found. But I was curious about that high score, because I'm not competitive in the slightest, but I must beat it. And I also really wanted to know if Nathan knew if John had ever created any other games. And Nathan told me that, to their knowledge, John never created any other games. And also his score is 3,240. That's a bit of a comparison. That's my high score, so practically there. I'm like this close. But yeah, I did try and see if I could hunt down John Williams online, see if he had any kind of social media presence. But with a name like John Williams, I didn't have much luck. So I didn't really want to bother Nathan with it, especially since John's retired. So let's just all hope that he's just gone fishing. So what's the point? Why should you care about the fish game? Well, maybe you don't have to care about the fish game, and maybe I was just given 10 minutes and a captive audience and allowed to speak about whatever I wanted. Suckers! No, I do have a point. The point is, the fish game's flawed. For one thing, half the people, or more than half the people who've ever used those machines, didn't even know of its existence. The other thing is, it doesn't take into account the 10 different resistance settings, so someone could be breaking their back, sweating, pushing all their willpower into it, and the person next to them is just rowing merrily along, getting the same score. And I don't care. I still love the fish game. I would defend it to anyone. And that gives me hope. It gives me hope that people will not care so much about the imperfections in my work, will not care that I'm learning by doing, just as John did. So what I would like to ask all of you is to go out there, is to one, be kinder to yourselves, please, and two, go out there and find your fish game. Go find that game or film or piece of media that inspires you, maybe isn't the most genre redefining piece of work, isn't well renowned, but lives in the recesses of your brain as something that you hold with a fondness that impacted you in some way. So go out there, go make, go do, go learn, go play, and most importantly, go fish. Thank you for listening.